Hey y'all, Briston here from Lucky Dragon Collectibles, and today I know it's gonna sound weird because you know what? The audio is off because I have to do a redubbing of this. The original video here, as we can see, does not have the audio for some odd reason. I always keep running into some sort of technical issues. Anyways, I'm gonna be doing two challenges today. That's right, two league challenges. This will be an interesting and fun one today. But before we jump into the first round, I want to show you something really cool. In between the matches right now, and I forgot to mention this earlier, but I did get my cards all nicely triple sleeved, now with the Eevee sleeve. And originally I was going to do it with the Iono double deck box. I don't know if I have that video up yet or not. But instead, I'm now able to get it all into my Eevee box. I had to stretch her out a little bit just so I can get this work. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Ooh, very nice. Very, very nice. Archelavian EX. All right, just completed the first round here, and I fought against John, his Alakazam deck versus my Ceruledge. Both rounds, I kind of whipped it. Not exactly. The first round, I had no Charcadets for 2 turns, and that he had his board pretty much set up for the most part. So it was an uphill battle for me. And just as I was getting a little bit better, like getting into it, I had my Legacy Energy, and he had an Enhancing Hammer. This happened twice, because he did the Enhancing Hammer twice again. Oops, sorry, my alarm. So that's what happened on the first round. The second round, I had a good start, but then I gambled away. This is the first time that's ever happened. I played this deck a ton of times online and in person too, but never have I had it where I discarded down to where I had no hand. I was hoping I was going to draw something, and I did not. And so for 2 turns, I was stuck with nothing I could do except for I had like a Fire Energy on my Charcadet, and John had a Shaman out, so it took me 2 turns to knock that out, but I wanted to start knocking more things out. That didn't turn out. So he was slowly able to build up his board set better than I could. And when I finally got my Legacy Energy, I thought I had the turn of the tide. Enhanced hand over my Legacy Energy away, and then he had a Togekiss for the flip, and he got the 3 prizes he needed to win. So that was just a crazy turnabout. Oh well, it happens. It's the RNG situation of it all. And then I made a really bad gamble at the second round here. Anyways, on to our second matchup. All right, hey, so I fought against Wes again today here. I just want to make sure. All right, hey there. So we just had our second matchup here. I fought against Wes against his Team Rocket's Spite Ops deck. We tied. I won the first round up. You misplayed and placed down the Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Even though he had a neutralizing zone out, he placed out that. I had a bossed it up, and I got the win off of that one. The second round, he learned his lesson on that one. Had a neutralizing zone. I think you got it like midway through the matchup too. Yeah. And then midway through there, I was struggling just to try and knock out his Pokemon. By the time I had some semblance, I was trying to stall out and see if I can get a tie on that match so I can get the win. Wes was able to pull off an amazing pull for Giovanni's, was it just Team Rocket's Giovanni, right?
Giovanni,
yeah. And then pulled up my, just any Pokemon because he only had 1 prize up. So just had a knockout. So it was an awesome matchup though. Awesome.
Thank you again, my brother.
Absolutely. All right, into our next match. And for the third matchup here, I was against Drew, and we were playing a mirror matchup. So Ceruledge versus Ceruledge, and ended up a tie overall. First round, he won that one. It was kind of nice because I think both the first and the third round that we faced against each other, I got first turn Donk. So I had my Soul Rock out, and I was able to knock out 1 Pokemon that he had, which was a Drillbur in the first one, and then, no wait, it wasn't a Drillbur. Was it Drillbur on the first match? Yeah, so it was a Drillbur on the first matchup, and then on the third matchup, I knocked out one of his Charcadets. And then, what was it? After that, though, on the first matchup, though, he was having more of a bench setup than I did, so it was kind of back and forth, and I just couldn't cinch it in at that point. Second matchup was a reversal. I had more of a setup. I was preventing Drew a little bit from his setup, and then I won that one. On the third one, I started off second here. I got the first turn Donk on one of his Charcadets, set him back a little bit, but then it became a back and forth where we were just kind of getting ahead over each other until the bell rung, and he was down to 3 prizes. I was down to 5 prizes. But either way, like there was no way he wouldn't, if he had a Briar in the deck, he wouldn't be able to cinch it in, and vice versa for me. There's no way I'm going to secure 5 prizes. That'd be a miracle if there was. I mean, unless, one kill, like knock out a Mega and then had a Briar, but he had 3 prizes, so that wasn't going to happen. Anyways, that was it for our third matchup. Let's go ahead and see what happens into our fourth and final one. So round 4, final round, and yeah, where's my opponent? Where's my opponent? Yeah, I don't have an opponent. I got the buy-in, last round buy-in. So I have a loss and 2 ties. And as John so eloquently put, I have a win. That's like a participation trophy. That's not a win. I don't feel good about that. And I'm definitely not going to be anywhere near top 4 or anything like that. So this challenge was a wash for me, unfortunately. It's funny. I win one, and then I'm going to wash on so many other ones. But we got another one later today here, so let's see what happens on that one. I will say before I leave, though, hopefully if I remember correctly, to say all where I place at least. So we'll find out. All right, and now I am at the second challenge today. I forgot to mention, so at the first challenge, I actually was at 8th place, and funny enough, actually got to 7th place. He was ahead of me by 1. So, and funny enough, we're now at the second challenge here. We just did our first round. My first round was with Wes again. Wes actually used a different deck though. He used a EV Terra box or EV box or Flareon box basically. Both rounds I won that one. The first one was a very, very tight match. It was super strong. It was like almost anyone's game. I think the big changeup in that matchup that occurred was midway through, I was pressed because you already knocked out one of my Ceruledges with a Carnelion, if I'm saying the name correctly, for Flareon. And I was pressed because I didn't have enough energies. I think I had 9 or so. I can't remember how much energy it was. I was just shy like another energy or so to knock you. So I pulled a couple of things. And I'm like, how can I get this happen? I lucked out with my Lunatone and did my Lunar Power and basically drew an additional energy. I just needed to figure a way to discard it. I also got an Ultra Ball into that one, so I basically Ultra Ball to another Pokemon, discarded that, knocked his Flareon out, and that's what kind of set the spiral downwards in that very first match. But it was very much back and forth. If I didn't knock, I think I bossed up earlier on one of your Hoots, which caused a hamper, because one of the things I know my weakness with this deck when I fight against Terra boxes / EV box or Flareon box. You already know I don't run any watchtowers on that. That's something I do online from time to time. Yeah. But I know the counter to that one is basically attacking your Hoots. You did good on trying to protect him, especially in the second matchup. Second matchup, he bricked hard on that one, so he was slowly getting around, but he could not take flight basically. So I hamstringed him basically, and that was it on the second match. It was unfortunate, but the first one was a rock solid one. But yeah, I'm like, I know the weakness of that one is just your draw engine. If you didn't have your draw engine, you're gonna pull whatever you want. Also unfortunate for Wes, he prized both games the Wellspring Ogerpon, which is another weakness for this deck. If I remember correctly, unless I have my Ceruledges on play, that's the only time you're not gonna be able to touch any of my main Pokemon that I'm worried about. Yeah. So I'm trying to get Wes on here too. The other thing I noticed, I saw on your play too, I think it was the first matchup. It wasn't in our second matchup. What happened on the first matchup was that you had the Fez out. I already knocked out a Pokemon. You had Fez out, and then I forgot you did a draw or something like that. I can't remember what it was. I don't think it was like a bot. Like, it's not Professor's research, right? I forgot what you. No, it wasn't Turo. I think. What was something?
Because I picked up the Noctowl and I put it on the other.
Because you had something else that you had to draw, right? And the one thing I was talking about that it's also a strategy with the Ceruledge deck too, or like most decks that discard, is that you want to reduce the amount of cards that you have in your deck so that way you can draw to what you want. If you already know what's already inside the deck, I would have said draw because you can't control an unknown draw. So you would use Fez's Flip the Script to draw 3. Hopefully you can get the card. And if not, then you would do Knocked Owl or anything else to help draw what you're trying to draw. So that way you can save your Knocked Owl's engine for something specific. Yeah, so that's why like, because it's primarily a discard deck, you want to discard down to whatever and pull the junk that you might not need anymore. And because I'm going to be throwing away my cards anyways, that's the mentality behind the deck. Yes. But then I want to be able to get to the cards that I want to get to, or I don't want to draw the cards by discarding them like that. So that's why, like, there was one thing I saw that you could have played, like, you could have done flip the script first, and then do that, and you would have got whatever you were looking for. I wasn't too sure if you were looking for like another Crispin or your Sparkling Crystal.
Yeah, the Sparkling
By
Crystal.
that point, I think you already knew that your Wellspring was prized at that point because you weren't trying to fetch for that, or like you were trying to fetch for ways to get your EVs out and then evolve into a Flareon at that point. That's what I was starting to see too. I was like, okay, I'm kind of reading that. The other thing I was talking with Wes too was like another fun strategy too is like understanding deck composition, right? So it's like it's one thing to play with meta, right? Like you knowing what kind of decks you have within the meta. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure I got you on here. Knowing what's on the current meta itself, but also understanding how people can counter your meta that you're playing with. So then, in that terms, what I'm trying to say is understanding how to circumvent your own weakness. Like, basically, like for an example, with my Ceruledge deck, I already know that everyone's goals is trying to knock out my Char Cadets and stuff like that. But like I think we were talking about was like your Team Rocket Spy Ops for an example, right? It's like, or no, we were talking about the not it was like the Absol deck or something like. Yes, it was the new Sharpedo based deck, and so I don't want to spoil it too much because it's Wes's build too, so I don't want to steal his thunder or anything like that. But one thing we were talking about too is like he has an engine going on, but because he's so reliant on that engine, what if someone knows his meta and how to counter the meta, like knock out what he has, or what if what he wants is prize? Like for an example, this is a great matchup where both times Wellspring Overcommand was prize out. So it's not only understanding how your deck functions, but having an auxiliary capability of fighting back. Because other than that, it's like if you don't have a way of fighting back, like your main thing is gone, your main strategy is gone. It's pretty much you might as well just forfeit. I'm not one to say always forfeit. I always say fight it out because you never know. Someone might get overconfident and then misplay, and then that's when you can capitalize on that. But the big thing, though, is that how to come around if you're not getting your main strategy kicking off. Like some of the strategies, I think I did against you, or I didn't. No, I did it against John, I think. I can't remember who I did against. But using Fizzipity. Like Fizzipity, everybody thinks like, oh, it's not going to Pokemon that you're going to use for attack. But when someone plays like not neutralizing zone, but like something that's going to block my main attacker or whatnot, like I can't do anything with my Ceruledge. What do? I use Fez instead. I use it as an auxiliary attacker. It's not just a draw. Yep. I mean, I already have like the Soul Rocks and stuff like that. Also do a low B attack. Another kind of strategy that can work off with that too. Oh, I won that. Sorry. I think another one that could help out too. I think I got lost track at that point here. I'm trying to remember what I was talking about at that point. I was just kind of like going off and rambling a bit. But yeah, it was just understanding the meta, how the meta current can counter your deck, and then also focusing on an auxiliary strategy. And it doesn't have to be a big strategy. It's just like it's a somewhat side thought. So like one thing I was talking about with his deck, it's a dark deck, is what happens if that gets prized? Your main strategy. What if you get countered for that? What you gonna do? So I think like one thing right here too is like having an auxiliary attacker or some other way to get to your prizes somehow, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's complete sense.
Yeah. Anyways, that's going to be it for the first round here. We're going to be going into our second roundup now. So we had the second round here. I was fighting against Justin here, my eternal rival. And he was using his, kind of like a mixture. It's a Diplin, Hydro Apple, Meganium deck. It's not terribly too weird. It makes sense. But, what was it? The first match, I barely squeaked the win on that one there. I just got an edge in the pricing game. Basically, it was back and forth because he didn't have his Hydro Apples out. He was using his Diplins here. I was able to just like basically at the very end deck myself. Like I had nothing else left, so I can get to my boss's orders. Pull out one of his Ogrepons for the knock, basically. On the second round, though, I had a really bad start with starting off with just a Drillbur. I still kept on going. Almost cinched it in, but I was just having a hard time just trying to either establish my board or pull out Pokemon that I can do a nice little easy donk for 2 prizes or more. And he squeaked the win on that one. We only have like 4 minutes left, so we decided to just call. Even though I'm like, I could try again because I can go second and then hopefully for a 1-turn donk. But that doesn't happen as often, and if anything else, it could also mess with me getting a loss so earlier on too. What if I only got one Pokemon or I don't get the combo I need? So I'm cool with just calling it at that point. So we're gonna be going onwards into our third matchup here. Let's see what happens. Alrighty then, and for our third round here, I fought against Ricky using a Marty's Grimmsnarl deck, and we ended off with the tie. First round, I succeeded and I won the first round there. Second round, he barely squeaked in the win at the very end. He got my Ceruledges all lined up on damages. I thought he was out of the de-evolution tool, but he had a de-evolution, or TM de-evolution, and then de-evolved 2 of my Charcadets, cinching in the win, even though I did have a Legacy Energy on one, but it only works on attacks. Wait a second here. Oh yeah, well, attacks working on a knockout, I think. All right, and then I'm not sure. I have to double check that one for de-evolution. And then what was the last matchup? We decided to do a quick matchup and see if I can do a dunk. Am I gonna get a dunk? All right, so I got my next match against Jess for the 4th and final round. Let's go. Anyways, so I have White on the back of the camera right now, helping me film right now. Appreciate his help here. So I just... Oh.
They don't care about nothing. I got second and I got first at Bucks. I did pretty good today. Let's talk about him today.
Congrats, Wyatt. I'm trying to think again. Oh yeah, so last I left off, I did the third matchup here, and now I was tied off with Justin. 4th matchup now, I fought against Jess, and I beat Jess here, so that got me 2 wins, 2 ties. The matchup with Jess, she was using a Bombasnow, Mega Bombasnow EX, and then against, of course, my Ceruledge. Both matches, she wasn't really able to get the steam going for her deck, basically. By the time she finally got rolling with her Mega Bombasnow, I just knocked out her stuff, basically. So I built up enough. And she also did a big misplay on the first part. I thought it was some kind of strategy or something like that. I wasn't too sure what she was trying to do, but she misplayed. She should have used the, I forgot the 200 damage. Why? Do you know the name of the 200 damage attack for the second one for Bombasnow? No, for Mega Bombasnow.
I don't know, but I can get it out real quick.
No, don't worry about it. But it did 200 damage, and of course my Ceruledge is fire, so it doubled the damage. Would have been 400 damage and knocked out one of them. But I had the Legacy Energy on it. So what happened?
What do you mean you're gonna do 400 damage to her?
No, she was gonna do 400 to me. So that's basically what happened. But would have happened, but she didn't take that route. I wasn't sure. Either way though, the games ended up in that way, and I cinched the win there, and that led me to 3rd place. I'm gonna go ahead and post up on the photo soon, like second. Up there. Oh, congrats, Edward! You got 2nd. Nice.
This guy got second.
But 3rd place, I got these packs right over here. Hey everyone, so the last part I did film a little bit at the store here, but it got a little bit chaotic with the footage here, and the audio had a little bit of discrepancies and stuff, so it was kind of hard for me to work around that. So let me just do a quick update from here. Sorry for the audio because I don't have my mic or anything like that set up. I just got home. And so I also got packs for my 3rd place here. I did do a pack battle here, but the footage didn't really quite survive it through the audio portion or whatnot, so unfortunately, I don't have that. It's going to be like lost footage, but oh well, it's kind of like with some of the things I've already filmed beforehand. Like actually some of the challenges, unfortunately, I didn't get to record those. Man, that was kind of sad, but oh well, that's the thing about filming stuff or whatnot, and just kind of like doing guerrilla filming or whatnot. But I just want to share this real quick too. So my friend Christian actually gave me a spare oversized Snorlax EX oversized card here. I can't wait to add that to my oversized binder right there. But yeah, he got lucky on getting a handful of these boxes here. He didn't care too much for the oversized, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I got my hands on it, because of course I collect oversized cards. Alongside sometimes I love promos. I just don't care too much for stamp ones, because I love it when they actually have like the Black Star labeling here. So I don't really count stamps terribly too much, but either way though, I wanted to get my hand on the oversized. There was the Snorlax EX bundled with Blissey EX, and I know there's a Greninja EX, which is the oversized one. I just don't know what the one was partnered up with Greninja. But I never got a chance to get my hands on the boxes this week here. So Christian was just kind enough to actually give me this Snorlax EX here. Can't wait to add him to the binder overall here. And I want to just shout out, thank you so very much, Christian. He actually did needed a Iron Hands EX just to complete his Joltik box, or the Miraidon box, however you want to put it there. So I actually gave him my spirit out one for my like cell trade binder. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad that like everything worked out and he got something that's gonna help him out in his deck in the future. Hopefully he's gonna really, really rock out that deck hard. And I got to add a brand new oversize to my oversized binder. Can't wait. All right, and I just got the Snorlax oversized sleeved up right here. Here is my binder here right now. Now, let's see, my next spare spot right here. Let me see if I can just try and get him into here with one hand. It's very, very difficult. I'm holding the camera with one hand here. Let's see if I can do it. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, I got that first one. Yep, there we go. Sweet. Awesome to add that to my oversized binder here. I'm gonna have to showcase my oversized cards. This would be awesome. And again, Christian, thank you so very much for this card. Really, really love and appreciate it. It's going to a great home here in my collection. Thank you again. Anyways, it was absolutely fun today. Some thrills, some chills, and some kind of like downers. And then there's definitely ups as well too. So yeah, all around, had a great time playing with everybody. Everyone played fantastically. A lot of pretty solid matches. I mean, even though there were some moments where I had bricked or something like that, I still had fun nonetheless. Either way, though, I'm looking forward to the next challenge or next cup. I believe the next one's going to be coming up sometime in December here, so we'll see from that point. But if anything else, if you liked what you're watching so far and had a lot of fun alongside with me, I'd like to kindly ask you to please like the video, subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate that as a growing content creator. And until the next video, take care and may you be lucky with your pulls today.